Hey everybody, good afternoon. My name is Dustin Strong. This is the Ask Me Anything Hour. So this is where we answer your questions. Any questions you have about your health, anything about nutrition, anything you want to ask us about holistic health, that's what we're here to answer for you. You can send us questions via info@strongonhealth.com. That's the email you can submit them to. You can type them in live right now, and if we see them, we can answer them live right now. Or you can actually come in live here from 12 to 1 and we can answer questions live here as well. So this is all about just helping people understand the greater picture of understanding a holistic approach to health and understanding how you do have a lot more control than you realize when it comes to your health. So we got 3 topics we've had questions about today. The first one is astaxanthin. That is an antioxidant. We'll talk about that. Second one is about a company called Viome. That's actually quite interesting. That is doing some interesting stuff, and I'm curious, and I'll talk a little bit about that. And the third one is a question about psoriasis, and they all kind of actually go together. But I'm going to start with the astaxanthin. So astaxanthin has been promoted as one of those things that will heal everything, and it came from this article from someone that sent me that said, why I take astaxanthin every day. And the question is always, well, should this be something that I'm taking? That's why people are bringing it to me. And my answer is, if you can get it in a whole food, then, and if it's a whole food that you would be getting access to on a fairly regular basis, then yes, I do believe that there is a reason that it's in there. And the other question is it absolutely necessary for function and health? Now that one I'm not sure, because what it is it's an antioxidant, but it's a carotenoid, and more specifically a keto-carotenoid, for all those who want to know the actual nerdiness of what it is. But what a carotenoid is, just an antioxidant, and a keto-carotenoid is a carotenoid with a ketone attached to it. Now we understand what ketones are if we're keto people. But the only place you can get it really in nature are going to be from Pacific salmon. So there's a lot of value in getting Pacific salmon, and I think that's an important aspect to do that. It's a carotenoid you would not get from a carrot or from a lot of vegetables. So it is something that has value, but do I think that it is the one thing under the sun that everybody should put into their life because it's going to change everything? Absolutely not. No, you want to get a little bit of everything all the time with an emphasis on your weakness so that your body has the ability to do the healing that it can itself. You can also find it though in yeast and shrimp. So if you're eating those things, and I do think there's a lot of value to eating shrimp once or twice a week, or salmon actually once or twice a week, or salmon as some people like to call it, then that would be the best way to get it, instead of supplementing it. So always be a little cautious when people are finding like this one hidden element that can only be found in the depths of the Amazon River or something to heal everything, because that's not the way that nature would provide it for us if it's something that we need. Okay, so this company called Viome, very interesting. The microbiome is something people are starting to really get a better understanding for, and it's super, super complex. We're talking of thousands of different organisms, hundreds of trillions of bugs that live in and on your body, but they're there to help you, so don't get grossed out. They're actually a good thing, and a lot of people are taking probiotics, and now they're taking prebiotics, and they're really starting to understand the complexity of this. Now, nearly a decade ago, I started doing a lot of studying and understanding this because I heard of something called a fecal implant that people were having to do because they were so sick there was nothing else that they could do to correct it. Yes, let your imagination go with that is. So there must be a better solution, a more elegant way to do that, and that's what we try to understand is how do you achieve a balanced microbiome without having to take somebody else's waste and put it in your body. So where that comes from, it's a long story, and there's so many things that affect this. Birth control will affect it, antibiotics will affect it, whether or not you were breastfed or not will affect it, whether you were born cesarean or natural birth will affect it. There are so many things that are impacting this microbiome that when you really look into it, taking one round of antibiotics, it can take a whole year for your microbiome to come back to what its set point would be. And actually, our microbiomes are getting less and less complex based on the fact that we're not getting exposed to what we should be getting exposed to, and we're not getting a diversity of fibers. So this company is claiming that it is going to go in and identify every single bug that's in your microbiome, which I think is fascinating, and I really hope that they're going in the right direction with this and being able to do it. My questions are, what is their basis of comparison? Because we're not certain that we have the information of what everybody's microbiome should look like, and they're running it through AI. And so I believe that there might be a future there to this. I think it's worth investigating and starting to get more knowledge and understanding of what's going on in your microbiome. But I don't want you to feel like you have to get into a place where you have to rely on artificial intelligence and all of this confusion about identifying every species, subspecies, and strain to know exactly what's going to be the perfect microbiome for you. Follow the way that it would happen in nature. Make sure that you're getting exposed to them through dirt and being out in nature and making sure you're getting plenty of different fibers and prebiotics and probiotics. Okay, so the reason I'm bringing that up is because digestion does come to the bottom line of almost all of these conditions, and that's what they're talking about at Viome, is they're saying that due to an imbalance of this, you're not getting the right nutrients, then you're getting inflammation, and inflammation is the root of all diseases. So there is some logic to that, and there's a lot to that, and you have to make sure that you are supporting your digestion throughout and make sure you have a great balance of it, and it does take a long time to truly understand this and find what works for you. So this is why it leads us into psoriasis. Psoriasis is not necessarily a skin condition. It presents on the skin, but it's actually a gut health condition. It's something that's happening from the inside out. And it comes from having an imbalance in that and also having poor digestion. So when we talk about things like that are autoimmune, an autoimmune condition is happening because things are getting into the blood that shouldn't be there. And almost always, they're proteins. And that's why people have allergies too. Autoimmune conditions are responding, your body's immune system responding to these proteins, getting into the blood, and then they attack similar tissue. And that's why you get this response in psoriasis. It's those actual autoimmune antibodies attacking the skin tissue. But there's so many things that are contributing to that, and the very top of that is protein digestion. Making sure that you can digest protein is hyper important to all of these. Even if you're going to be taking a probiotic and focusing on what's going on in your gut, you first have to make sure that your body is fully digesting things from the top all the way down. One of the most touted remedies in holistic fields to help with psoriasis is L-glutamine. L-glutamine is something that's really helpful in rebuilding your body. It is systemically needed. It is a conditionally essential amino acid. What does that mean? It's something that your protein is broken down into to help rebuild your body. It's a building block of life. But the conditionally essential ones mean it's so important that your body needs it from an outside source, but it can also make it if it has to from your body. That's how important it is to have it in there. So how do we get that glutamine in there? By digesting protein. You have to first digest the protein. So if you are needing that and you're not getting in there to heal that, the first thing you want to examine is whether or not you can fully digest your proteins. Making sure you're getting enough protein and digesting it is going to be really important to help with the healing process of psoriasis. And it's not going to be an overnight type situation. You have to look at all of the elements of it. So that part of the digestion, the lower part of the digestion, making sure that your microbiome is getting balanced out, that you're getting diversity of fibers, that you're cleaning your body out, and there's other elements to it as well. In fact, almost every person that shows up with psoriasis is going to be low in vitamin D, and that's not the only one that you're going to be low in, but that's something you want to look at too, because that's going to be helpful for the healing of that. So when you're thinking of these conditions, you can't just think, oh, I have something on my skin, I just have to make sure that I get rid of this on my skin. You have to understand what's causing it, where it's come from, and understand that it's not the only thing that's going to be affected is the skin if you're having that condition. Your whole body can be affected by that. So making sure your digestion is working right is going to be the most important thing. And what is the goofy, what's going on? We got some comments out there? Too much of this? You guys want a karate fight or something?
Wait, one question. Any suggestions on what to take for a toothache?
For a toothache? Gosh, that's a difficult one. I need to know a little bit more about it. But if, well, actually, inositol can be helpful for nerve pain. If you're having nerve pain in there and you're not getting enough of that, that can be one thing that you might want to add to it. But obviously, you want to look at rinsing your mouth out with things that are going to clean out any bacterial overgrowth. A lot of times, that inflammation is going to be due to bacteria that are in there. So I would make sure that you're really doing a good job cleaning that out. You can use like a silver mouthwash to help with that, to make sure that you're killing things off, like a colloidal silver. But I need to know more about the person to be able to answer that. But those would be my first two things to try. I would probably make sure I'm getting enough inositol and make sure that I'm doing a really good job of cleaning out the opportunistic pathogens that could be living in there creating inflammation. All right, any other questions that we're getting in there? Thanks for watching, guys. If any of this information made sense to you or you felt like it was important or it's worth sharing, please do share this video and keep those questions coming because we want to make sure that you know that there's always something you can do to improve your condition and you have a lot more control the more you know about yourself and how it works. All right, have a good day, guys, and thanks for watching.